YouTube, how the duck you doing? Duck Films here. What I got for you today is another Delta Force Hawk Ops video talking about the 3 best operators to play in Havoc Warfare. And if you're new here or you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, why not? It's completely free. But anyways, hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Now again, these 3 operators are all in my opinion, and they're also in no particular order. But for our first operator, it's going to be the Medic class, and it's pretty self-explanatory to why it's such an important vital role in Delta Force Hawk Ops. Now when it comes to the Medic class in a game like this, I've seen a lot of debate whether this class is actually useful or not, since the TTK is so low. And while yes, you often find yourself dying a lot and respawning, the whole point of the Medic class is to try to alleviate that pain so you can get back into the action as fast as possible. A lot of gadgets that the Medic class has greatly helps your team. I see a lot of people not really using their smokes, and I honestly rarely see people using the med pistol when it's literally your main gadget. Now when it comes to the medical pistol or the therapeutic gun, however you want to call it, what it does is going to be giving you extra healing over time and a passive ability that's going to have your teammate take a little less damage. Now again, it's not going to be an instant heal for your teammates or even for yourself, but it just speeds up health regen. So I think it's definitely at a good spot. If they made it an instant heal, I think the class would be a little too strong. Now besides that, you have the smoke screen, which you cast out with V or whatever button you have it bound to, and there you throw it out and you can spin your mouse around making cool 360s and everything, but it's pretty self-explanatory that this gadget allows you to push points better and allows you to get to teammates that are downed. Now for his throwable utility, the smoke grenade, there's 2 cases to use it: for pushing points, rezzing teammates, and if you shoot it with your thero gun, it changes the smoke grenade into a AoE healing smoke cloud. Now I highly encourage you to do this. I see so many people missing the opportunity to use this ability, or some people don't even honestly know that you can shoot that smoke grenade, allowing for you and your team to heal faster. Now I see this as being super useful on chokes, especially when you're pushing B1 on the map Cracked, or even in the caves on Ascension. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't understand the impact that this smoke grenade can have, whether it be just using the smoke grenade as cover or using it as a healing device. Now when it comes to your last slot, what I find most useful is to actually use an ammo crate, where yes, you could use the med crate, you will have your self-healing, or your team healing with your thero gun, the smoke grenade with the healing ability as well, and throwing down a med crate, basically healing everyone in the surrounding area pretty fast. But what I find myself to run out of most often is actually ammo rather than HP. I base it off this. My reason why I use the ammo crate is that I have the healing from the thero gun, or the medical gun, wherever you want to call it, and I have this smoke grenade that can turn into a healing grenade. And I tend to run out of ammo quite quickly, so I believe it's a way better option to run an ammo crate versus the med crate. But how I see to choose one over the other is it typically revolves around your playstyle, what you feel is the right choice for yourself, and if you feel like you're doing enough healing already. And that's why the Medic class is definitely in my top 3 of the best operators in this game. Now for our next class, or operator, I'm actually going to tie 2 operators into one since they're from the same class section. And I think operators that are super underused are actually the support operators. Very little do I actually see support players taking out vehicles, and the vehicles will end up just steamrolling your team because no one knows how to fire an RPG or AT4 at a vehicle. Now although Shepard is a very good support character, I want to mainly focus my attention to the newer operator they added for the support faction. Now with this character you get a UCAV ability similar to Battlefield 4, where you shoot a paper airplane at someone, you can control it if you ADS before shooting it, and on impact it has 2 explosions. The first initial impact of the flying device, which blows up, doing about 40-ish damage. Then there's a separate explosion that shoots out 3 projectiles or 3 grenades that does damage in the surrounding area. He also places 2 small deployable barricades, which I believe are actually super useful to the team. I was actually hoping they added a character that could set down deployable cover, as from what I've noticed, especially on a map like Ascension, is that there's a lot of open space, so having these small barricades gives you an opportunity to try to get to better cover while trying to stay your best to stay alive. Now besides the deployable cover, he has the Incendiate, which again is super useful and super strong, and I think it doesn't need to be tweaked or anything. I think it's in a great spot, and when used right, trying to flush enemies out of a pocket or something like that, it really highlights the amount of damage that the support class can actually do in this game. Now apart from that, he has your standard rocket launcher that you can mix and match and choose from depending on the circumstance. And for whatever reason, I see a lot of people that pick support don't know how to shoot their rocket when they see a vehicle. If you see a tank, LAV, Jeep, or anything of the sort, honestly, don't be afraid to shoot a rocket at it. Sure, you might die or you might miss, but who cares? As long as you're trying to shoot the vehicle, I believe honestly you're doing the right thing. Now keep in mind it takes about 4 shots of the AT4 onto a tank, to fully destroy it, and so on. And like I said, very rarely do I actually see people using the support class just in general, and that's why people say that the vehicles in this game are just way too strong. How I see it, I don't think the vehicles are that strong. I just feel like the people that are actually trying to destroy the vehicles aren't really doing their job. Very rarely do I see someone other than myself or someone I know actually going out of their way to shoot a rocket at a vehicle or something like that. Now, most of the time, you get weapons similar to the other classes, although you do get the LMG section, which gives you the M249 and the PKM. But that's besides the point. Now, not only does he get an AT4 rocket launcher, he also gets the repair kit or repair tool, where you have the ability to repair vehicles, which for some reason nobody knows that you can repair vehicles. And you can also repair the mounted weapons, things like the coastal artillery, the AA guns, the mounted LMGs, and so on. And that's honestly why I put the support class characters in my top 3. I just think the amount of utility that this character has is something not to be passed up on. There's a lot of times where the support character is needed and just generally doing things. Now, last but not least, for the last final operator that in my opinion I think is probably the best operator in the game, and if you subscribed it greatly helps me out, and honestly the best operator is probably going to be Luna. Now, ever wondered why you're constantly getting pinged and it's constantly saying detected on your screen? Well, that's going to be because of Luna. Luna has a recon arrow as her special, to where I highly encourage you to shoot it up and towards the enemy, as it will scan everyone that it comes across. And not only does it initially scan, but it scans 2 times. It scans on the first initial pass by, then after a brief moment it'll scan a second time. However, you can avoid the second scan. At the top of their screen it'll say a prompt that says if you are moving you'll be scanned. So if you don't move you won't be scanned. Now, besides the recon arrow, you have the shock arrows or the volt arrows or whatever you want to call them, but you shoot it in an area, it's going to do AoE damage, and it also reveals the enemy that are damaged by it because of her passive ability. I see her shock arrows as insanely strong. If there's enemies trapped in a hallway, a corridor, or you trying to hold a corner, simply shoot a shock arrow either in the middle or right on the wall. It will tick for damage and it will also reveal them. This character is Not only is this character extremely strong in Havoc Warfare, but she is also really strong in Tactical Turmoil or the Extraction game mode. Just like her Havoc Warfare counterpart, you can still use these shock arrows and the recon darts all in Extraction mode. And well, it relatively does the same exact thing, revealing enemies and damaging enemies. Now, her throwable gadget is going to be an enhanced frag grenade, which is basically just a frag grenade that's going to do a little bit more damage. Now, last but not least is the spawn beacon or the laser designator, whatever you so desire. Usually you want to stick to the spawn beacon, as yes, there are some uses to using the laser designator. I just think the opportunity and what you get out of the spawn beacon is too much to pass up on. You're trying to find yourself a good flank. Are you in combat and your teammates can't spawn on you? Well, if you slap down a spawn beacon, your spawn beacon won't be in combat, but you will, so all of your team can spawn in your spawn beacon and help you out. And this is honestly why I think these 3 operators are definitely the best in the game. But again, this is my opinion and I could be wrong. But let me know your favorite operator down below in the comments. And if you like this type of content, or you want to see any other content related to Delta Force Hawk Ops, make sure to subscribe.